Ladies and gentlemen, from the Dallas On Air studios of beautiful downtown Dallas, it's the 4th annual Fanboy Oscars, a.k.a. the Foscars. Tonight, we celebrate the actors, actresses, and filmmakers from the biggest movies of 2019. And now, without any further ado, here's your host, most often seen in his local Cineplex or talking someone's ear off about movies on fulfillment, the Vegabomber, PJ Dunn!
Hey, welcome to the 4th annual Foscars. You know, before I did this show tonight, somebody was telling me, you're going to have a hard time talking about good movies because there really weren't that many good movies of 2019. To which I said, man, that's crazy talk. There were really great films. They were out there. You just didn't see them because Disney. Yeah, the Disney films in the Cineplex took up all the theaters. In fact, between all the Frozen movies, all the Marvel movies, and then all the Star Wars movies, yeah, but they were out there. In fact, there were some films this year that had some pretty interesting topics. Like, for example, there was a film about exotic dancers who got over on their rich clients. There was a film about that was a return for a comedian who was playing another comedian. There was a film about the nicest man in the world who doesn't only just talk to children, but he actually can help cynical adults. There was a fantasy movie about the events happening in 1969. And, of course, another mob movie that we still wanted to see because we're still not tired of them. And I could go on and on and on about the movies of 2019. Tonight, we're here to celebrate those films by category. And the first category is...
Most Underrated Film of 2019.
Simply put, these are the films that deserve another look. They somehow escaped under the pop culture radar, but have great command performances in them, good direction, excellent story crafting, maybe even great messages. And to present this category is my good old buddy and avid Star Wars geek, Jedi Cole Houston.
Hey, thanks, PJ. I'm Jedi Cole Houston, host of Dallas On Air's The Rancor Pit Live and Isle of Toys, and I'm here to talk to you about the underrated films. Some are Oscar nominees, some weren't. Probably should have been. We're going to talk about Ford v. Ferrari. Amazing film. You know, Motorheads, it's a no-brainer. They flocked to go see this. A lot of people didn't realize. And I think all but one are based on true stories. Ad Astra. Hadn't happened, but very fine sci-fi film. This is some hard thinking man sci-fi. We have Just Mercy, based on a best-selling book about a Harvard attorney who went to bat for, and continues, I believe, to go to bat for basically inmates who were falsely accused and have nowhere to turn. And finally, Richard Jewell, about the Atlanta bomber, the would-be suspect, their first go-to. By Clint Eastwood, Just Mercy, Ad Astra, Ford vs. Ferrari, all four of these really amazing films. Which one really should have been on the other side of the line when it came to being underrated or being well known? Well, I'm going to have to go with Just Mercy. Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan, amazing performances. Michael B. Jordan involved in pretty much every aspect of getting this film made. Should not have been one of these films that, you're like, what? I didn't realize that had actually come out. A lot of people are like, oh, I saw them interviewed and I thought it was coming out. So I think that is going to be our top underrated film of 2019. And I'm going to shoot it back over to the Vegabomber.
These special characters don't have to save your butt or do anything on your behalf at all. But in fact, their lives would be easier if they didn't. But these folks come alive when the conflict is unavoidable and certainly real. This category is...
Best Hero of 2019.
To present Best Protagonist or Hero in a Film for 2019, it's a familiar face, an all-around cool guy who looks a lot like your host and MC. Oh, Hey, thanks me to throwing it to me. So, yeah, it's me again. And this time I'm going to do Best Hero because at the Fanboy Oscars we have categories just like this. So, the nominees for Best Hero in a film this year was Avengers and Endgame. Just pick any one of them. John Wick, Parabellum. Ben Affleck in Triple Frontier. And Chadwick Boseman in 21 Bridges. And the one that I've selected as the best hero in a movie in 2019 is Ben Affleck in Triple Frontier. Now you might say, whoa, wait a minute. The Avengers, dude. What about John Wick, dude? Yeah, those are the easy picks. But if you watch Ben Affleck and Charlie Hunnam and Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac as a SEAL team that goes in and does a little bit of that whole go retcon the money and steal it from the bad guys and go try to use it for the good guys, this really is the best Avengers team out there, as far as I'm concerned. But hey, if you liked Avengers, that was cool too. Anyway, that's my picks. So this is me in the studio, sending it back to me in another studio. These are the special characters that are oftentimes the other side of the coin if the other side is hero. They complete the hero. And this category is
Best Villain of 2019. From the Dallas Center Studios in beautiful Dallas, Texas. Once again, this is Kazak the Talk, Lord of the Sith, bringing you another favorite category from the Fanboy Oscars. PJ threw this one to me, and it was Best Villain of 2019. And your nominees are Joker from Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Thanos from Endgame, played by Josh Brolin. Ransom Drivesdale from Knives Out, played by Chris Evans. And Red from Us, played by Lupita Nyong'o. And your winner for this year is write-in nominee Julia Roberts. No, I'm just kidding. No, the winner, of course, this year was Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Basically a transformative performance. Everything from the wiry frame to the complete breakdown, the severe laughter, everything on it just gives you tension from the moment you say go to the final moments of just crushing insanity. Absolutely, Joaquin Phoenix delivering, the best horrifying performance of the year. And sadly, we can't bring Julia Roberts in to accept her award, so we would like to offer this one to Joaquin Phoenix. Thanks for playing. Back to you, PJ, in the studio.
You know, sometimes in the theater, or maybe at home if you're screening it at home, a movie has a scene, or maybe it's an actor or an actress that just tickles your funny bone. When this happens, you don't just smile, you outright guffaw, like guffaw, ha ha, guffaw, fall. Well, anyway, you get the sense. You're chuckling pretty loud. The next category is
Best Comedy of 2019.
To present for Best Comedy Film for 2019 for the Foscars is the avid toy collector and magical one-liner king himself, once again, Jedi Cole Houston.
Hey, thank you, Vegabomber. This is Cole Houston from Dallas On Air's Isle of Toys and the Ranker Pit Live, and I've been asked to talk to you about the best comedies on the Foscars because we don't care about what the Oscars thought about these comedies. We care about what the fans thought. We're talking about Good Boys, which is in the vein of the kind of teen and preteen romps of Meatballs and Porky's and things like that when I was a kid. And I remember wondering with the Bad News Bears, could they watch their own movie? Apparently not. So Good Boys was a lot of fun. The Upside, one of those things early on I'm thinking, is this a comedy? Is it a drama? It's actually a really feel-good kind of comedy. Bryan Cranston is, well, you got no complaints. Then we've got Jumanji Next Level. You got wrestlers and wild animals and nothing like the Jumanji with Robin Williams. So you just got to get rid of that in your mind. And finally, Dolomite Is My Name, a kind of historical comedy. It's based on a true story, but has a lot of fun with it. Eddie Murphy kind of coming back from the ashes like a phoenix. So those are four great comedies. collectively a ton of laughs. How do you pinpoint the one? You just kind of close your eyes and you put the pin in. Dolomite is my name. I'm going to go with that for the Foscar for 2019 as the best comedy. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is worth your while and a lot of fun. So I'm going to kick it back over to Vegabomber because he's got a lot of stuff to go through.
So, there's been some films or movies that have come out, and at first when you saw the trailer for it, you just said, there's no way I'll watch that. It looks like trash. Or you said something like, I don't have time to watch that stuff. I still got a full list of movies I got to watch on my Netflix. Or maybe you said, I don't have the money to just be running out every time to go see this. I'll just check it later. And the funny thing is that when you do check these movies out, you find out that they end up being maybe your best movie of the year. The next category that we'll present is
Surprise hit film of 2019.
To present surprise hit film, it's the man of many movies in his collection, both physically and online, the film samurai himself, Carlos Salinas.
Thank you, Bomber. And the next category is surprise hit. This is Film Samurai, and here are the nominations: Rocket Man, Hustlers, Parasite, Knives Out, Fighting with My Family. And the 2019 Foscar goes to Fighting with My Family. I picked this movie because it was just a blast to watch. Florence Pugh's in this movie. She plays a wrestler, and it was just an enjoyable performance, and I had a great time with it. Based on a true story, and just a great film all around. Back to you, PJ.
Sometimes there are reasons why you like the lead actor, and it's mainly because you love the sidekick. In fact, the sidekick is so good, the sidekick thinks he's the lead actor in the movie, but really he's not. The next category that we're now about to look into is
Best Supporting Actor.
To present Best Supporting Actor is the man who has read more comic books than you and then lives every day to sell them. That's Horror Mike.
Thanks, Vegabomber. This is Horror Mike at Keith's Comics again, talking about Best Supporting Actor. So this is a great category, but here are the nominees. There's a lot of great actors this year. Joe Pesci in The Irishman. Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Matt Damon in Ford vs. Ferrari. And Al Pacino again in The Irishman. And the winner is Al Pacino in The Irishman. Man, what an amazing year for great actors in films. So many great ones. The Irishman alone has award-winning performances, but Al Pacino consistently always gives great performances, and I think this was no different. It's a hard call on this one, but definitely going with Al Pacino in The Irishman.
These ladies may not have been the lead character in their respective films, but they were memorable nonetheless. They could easily have their own spin-off film and probably do just as well. This next category is all about
Best Supporting Actress.
And to present Best Supporting Actress is the woman who is not cool with not knowing if Bigfoot exists or not, Colleen Medina.
Thank you, Vegabomber. Well, I'm Colleen Medina with the podcast Figments, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast. And tonight, my category is Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Florence Pugh for Little Women, Nicole Kidman for Bombshell, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. The winner is, drumroll please, Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell. I love watching Kathy Bates. She is a very powerful actress And it doesn't really matter what she's doing in the movie. I just feel like she will move you somehow. So thank you, Kathy Bates, for everything that you do for us. Back to you, Vegabomber.
When an actor can make you feel his pain, believe in his plight, and make you just want to talk straight out loud to the screen, fanboys and fangirls, you have just witnessed an epic performance. This next category is
Best Actor.
To present Best Actor is the man who can draw circles around your doodles without a sketch pad in his sleep. That would be Eddie Medina.
Thanks, Vegabomber. Hi, I'm Eddie Medina with the podcast, The Rancor Pit and Figments, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast. And I'm here to present the category of Best Actor for the Foscars. And coming in first is Taron Egerton for Rocket Man. Next, we have Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. And Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And finally, we have Jamie Foxx for Just Mercy. And the winner is, drumroll, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. What a powerhouse performance. I was completely blown away. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix for me is such a fine actor. He's good in anything he's in. If you haven't seen Signs or The Village, I recommend both highly. But his take on the Joker was mind-blowing, so much so. And I'm invested in this character, obviously being a longtime Batman fan. But beyond that, I was just blown away by his performance. So much so that I had to watch it 2 nights in a row just to absorb how big of a role this is. So my choice for Best Actor, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. Back to you, Vegabomber.
She might make you laugh. She might make you cry. She might also make you scream. Now that's what I'm talking about. She might make you feel that glad and happy that humans are still capable of some good. She might just be the most captivating thing you've seen all year long. This category is
Best Actress.
To present this category is the cryptid couple themselves, Colleen and Eddie Medina.
Thanks, Vegabomber. Well, I'm Colleen Medina with the podcast Figments, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast.
And I'm Eddie Medina of the podcast, The Rancor Pit and Figments. And on Figments together, we are
The Cryptid Couple.
That's right.
And tonight, our category is Best Actress. The nominees are Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story,
Charlize Theron for Bombshell,
Cynthia Erivo for Harriet,
and Saoirse Ronan for Little Women.
and the winner is, drumroll please,
Exciting.
Charlize Theron for Bombshell.
Now this is a powerful, powerful actress. What was the first thing you ever remember seeing her in?
The Devil's Advocate. Great, great actress. You just felt for her the whole time. And this movie was just so powerful, and she just made you feel like you were right there with her.
Yeah. First thing I ever saw her in was Mighty Joe Young. Also a very powerful movie.
Back to you, Vegabomber.
You know, these films do a good job of entertaining people of all ages, even though they're aiming at a younger demographic. When you think about trying to match the perfect voice to a character, that's pretty difficult, but these movies have it down to a science. The category that I'm talking about now is
Best Animated Feature.
To present Best Animated Feature is the dude, the man, the dude man himself, Horror Mike.
Thanks, Vegabomber. This is Horror Mike. My category is Best Animated Picture. This is something I'm really seen all these, big fan of all these movies, but got to pick one. So the categories are How to Train Your Dragon 2, The Hidden World, Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, and Klaus. And the winner is Klaus. Big fan of this movie. I don't think it was very hyped by Netflix, but I'm a big fan of this movie because it's really all hand-drawn animation, whereas the others on this list are all 3D, kind of the norm now. But to take it back like Klaus did and to kind of revolutionize 2D animation, it's a must-see, and the story's phenomenal. So, back to you, Vegabomber.
A camera in these folks' hands is like putting a paintbrush in Leonardo da Vinci's hands. You see, these people have an eye for angles and for backdrops and lighting and different camera positions so that you get to see a different perspective. And on top of it, they have to deal with actors who want peeled red M&Ms in their trailer before they'll come out and do a scene. Yeah, this category is all about
Best Director.
To present Best Director, it's my co-host from The Fulfillment Show, which you should be watching if you're not by now, Carlos Salinas, also known as the Film Samurai.
Thank you, Bomber. Film Samurai here, and my category this year for the Foscars is Best Director. And the nominees are Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, Todd Phillips, Joker, Sam Mendes, 1917, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And my choice for Best Director of the 2019 Foscars is Martin Scorsese. And I picked Martin Scorsese for his beautiful craft, his filmmaking, his prowess in the way he used these actors, and it's just an amazing film. And I watched it again and again. Thank you, PJ. This is Film Samurai.
These films demonstrate the best of acting, the best of directing, the best cinematography, the best world building, the best storylines that conclude with the best ending possible, all in just one movie. This category is
Best Picture.
To present Best Picture is your friendly neighborhood movie buff and Reese's peanut butter aficionado. Well, it looks like I have the dubious distinction of talking about what the best picture was for 2019. There were a lot of good films in 2019, but let's look and see who made the list for the Fanboy Oscars. We have The Irishman, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Well, my pick for this is going to be 1917. And by the way, this was not an easy decision. And first I thought I might pick Joker, and I was actually leaning on Joker, but after seeing 1917, Sam Mendes basically shooting a World War I flick, just single shot, simple characters, simple plot line, simple message, but done effectively. You don't need a ton of twists to make a movie good, and this movie is paramount to that. 1917 is the best picture of 2019, bar none. And you heard it here first. In 2019, 1917 was the best. And now back to me in the studio. These are the films you almost walked out of. And if you did, you asked for your money back and a Coke, because you needed the Coke to wash out that bitter taste in your mouth from watching this ridiculous film. In fact, these films look better on fire than they do on the silver screen. This category is
Garbage film, dumpster pile, piece of shit. Get this thing out of here. No! Garbage film of the year.
To present garbage film, it's the guy who knows what secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Kazak.
From the Downtown Air Studios in beautiful Dallas, Texas, this is Kazak coming to you from my environment here behind the scenes at DallasOnAir.com. You can catch me as the host of the Vortex of Doom and Fulfillment as one of those voices chiming in with PJ and Carlos. So I was selected this year to deliver my favorite category of the year, the one that I've been looking forward to for so long, Garbage Film of the Year. And the year's nominees for 2019 are Pet Sematary, It, Chapter 2, Cats, Terminator, Dark Fate, and X-Men, Dark Phoenix. God, I love this list. I can't wait to deliver this winner. And your winner is... God, this long sounding the fact. Cats! Cats is your winner, because of course it is. Everything in this tragedy of a film, from the ruin that has become Judi Dench's career to the horribleness that is Idris Elba being declined for James Bond, to the terribleness of a horrible dance sequence between James Corden and Rebel Wilson, and of course, best cameo ever from a snot bubble from Jennifer Hudson's nose. Of course it was Cats. That chalkboard grading score from Andrew Lloyd Webber delivering an incoherent and completely trash musical into the annals and anals of cult film history. This film is god-awful terrible, and please, for the love of God, avoid it like you did twogirlsonecup.com. All right, that's it. Back to you, PJ. Thanks for playing.
So, what did you think? Were there some films that we left off the program that you felt should have been on here? Well, there is a thing called the internet, and I'm pretty sure you'll let me know about it. But as we draw to a close, I can't help but to be excited about next year's films. You know, the great performances that we'll have next year, the great direction that we'll see next year in a film, the cinematography, all of that. All of that's coming. And you know what? We're going to be there because we're film junkies just like you. And we're going to let you know exactly what we think about those films, once again, the Fanboy Oscars of 2020. But before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't thank some people who contributed their time and energy to make sure that this show is possible. And those people are...
Oh, stewardess, I speak jive.
Oh, good.